Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, sponsor Lunish Pasab Yakshalom Lab, a Sitzchok we're holding in Sanhedrin, Daf Lamed Aleph. We're going to be starting in the end of Daf Lamed base. It's not so much the end, actually, it's a few lines below. I'm going to start from the words, Omay Avyudo Edus. It's 6 lines to the bottom. Omay Avyudo Edus Amakchoshes Ze Bebdikus. You have Lamed with base in the bottom, 6 lines at the bottom of the page. So, you have Eidus, a testimony, which contradicting each other, not in Chakirus. Chakirus is what is the main Eidus. But in Bdikus is the extra questions. It's okay, even though they're contradicting each other, if the questions are not the questions that are essential for the Eidus, it's fine. One says it was a black wallet, one says it was a white wallet. But if the argument is, what did he lend? Did he lend a black coin or a white coin? That's the Iker thing. The money is what he gave. So when you're talking about the Arnike, the wallet where the money was is not so important. But the money that's much more important. Right? That's Iker Gufeidis. Says the Gemara, want to tell me a black wallet is not? Meaning that Davka B'dini Mominish, you say it's okay, but now in the Nefesh, we speak about death. So that's not true. There's argument, how did he kill? How did the murder happen? Did it happen with a sword? Or it happened with another instrument, which is called a ririn. You bring over here like a little an axe, a type of axe. Some peg. He killed them with a steel. Did he kill with a sword or not? So then we say that it's not connected. It's not a chuvin. They're contradicting each other. What clothing did the murderer or the one who's murdered was wearing? Was it black or white? If they contradicting themselves regarding which clothing, it's fine. Why is it fine? It's not essential for the Eidus what clothing was he wearing. So what he's more saying that you see that we're not talking about the Iker Eidus, talking about the clothing, even the Nefashis is not important. And you just said that when you talk about Arnike, that the Arnike is only B'dini Mominis, it's if they're contradicting themselves, so you don't connect them. The Nefashis is not. So more Gava Karmis, you're asking a question from one mandor to the other mandor, it's about Klikis. Even if one says a black coin, what's a black coin, white coin is tough. Why are they not testifying about the same coin? So they want to come on, that we learned yesterday that they don't have to see the same coin. Could be one says, I saw the loan. Another one says, I saw the admission. That's if they're not contradicting each other. Meaning, what does it mean contradicting? One says, Reuben admitted to me that he owes money. When was it? Sunday. The other one says, he admitted to me on Tuesday. So the admission didn't happen at the same time. Could it be they're talking about the same money? Yeah. Could it be both, even if it's not the same money? Could it be both true? Yeah. But here they're contradicting each other. One said it was a black coin, one said it was a white coin. One of them is saying something wrong. So going the Tanya Shimon Velazar Lenichku B'Sham B'Silel Al Shtei Kisei Eidim Shachas Oimeres Matayim Echat Oimeres Moni. When you have 2 Kidei, one says that you lend him 200, one says you lend 100. Sheyesh B'Chlal Matayim Moni. Everybody agrees that 100 he owes. Why? They both agree that he lend at least 100. That's if you have 2 different groups of Eidim. What happens if you have one group of Eidim and you have 2 in the one group of Eidim, you have 2 different Eidim that are contradicting each other? Shammai say separated. One eight says 200, one says 100. It's not eighths. And Basil say they're both agreeing on 100. So even though they contradict each other, I don't care. Let's just take the bottom line. How much he owes. Think about the same thing over here with the black and white. They're all agreeing with what he owes. Who cares which coin? That's the argument. Continues the Gemara with that quote. One says a barrel of wine, one's a barrel of oil. There was a story came from Ami. So you have to pay a barrel of wine out of a barrel of oil. So in that place, this discussion in different places is different, but that place the wine was cheaper than oil. So you have to pay at least the wine worth. Come on. That's what Shimon says. Even though the two Adim are contradicting each other, but because the Maisi you go to the bottom line, they owe money. Even though Shimon money, yeah, I got him Yomar. So there, in the first case, one says 200, one says 100. So 100 is for sure. Shah is the other 100. But in the case that we're talking about over here, we're talking about was it a oil or was it wine? It's two different things. So they want to talk about the money. Sorry, what it means? They're not discussing now if he has to give oil or wine. We're not going to give oil or wine. We'll give the worth of the oil or the wine. But we should be able to give. Right? Says the Gemara. One says, is in a dutel yoino, he gave the loan in the second floor. One says the bottom floor. He says, he says, if it's Sarif, and that's like a Meshur ben Karchel, we go based on the bottom line, even though it's not exactly the same location. So one brought into the discussion, when you have Eidos that is not exactly the same, do we join them together? So the woman when they go out of Beis Din, you should not say, oh, I said you're innocent. And they said no, don't do that. You can't say I'm the one who says you're innocent, you're exempt, you're okay. And my friend says you're chayv. Amaya says you're very robo like friends were more than me. Don't go out and reveal a secret. Before we go back to just finish here the sentence of the Gemara. Listen to this unbelievable thing. The Talmud went and revealed the secret 22 years after the secret was sent. It was a secret was medrash. 22 years later, he revealed it. Why 22 years? So the Reuben Margolia says, because we know that Yosef was away from his father 22 years, and it was a secret. Nobody told Yaakov. 22 years, he kept a secret, not more. Rav Ami kicked him out of his medrash. So this guy reveals secrets, is out, even though it's 23 years later. So you see, you should not reveal secrets. Now, just the other mentions over here. The more brings two psukim. One pasuk is like that's a pasuk in the Torah, and the other pasuk is the pasuk in Mishlei. Why have to bring Mishlei if you already brought the Torah? Says the Yoda, I'll tell you why. Because the pasuk in the Torah speaks about maybe Lashon Hara, like the classic Lashon Hara. How do I know we're revealing a secret? So bring the other pasuk in Mishlei that says So you see over here that a secret is also a problem of Bechilus. So why is it the same? Shanara, the person says something wrong about somebody else. You're not saying something wrong. I'm just revealing a secret, revealing which Dayanim say yes, which Dayanim say no. Why is that part of Bechilus? There's a beautiful Maharal in this week's Pasha, Pasha Shmois. And the Maharal says there that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he saw the Am Yisrael saying Lashon Hara, Rashi brings, he got very worried. So Am Yisrael was never going to be redeemed. He was afraid. So explain to the Maharal why. Because the Yisrael Lashon Hara. He didn't get the Torah yet. It's because Lashon Hara, there is a Yisrael Lashon Hara in the Torah. There's no element of Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is external. Person is taking out, he doesn't leave things in his stomach. He needs to take out what he has. It says Am Yisrael by definition are internal. The Goyim are external. Am Yisrael, their whole mindless that they are pnimi. Moshe says if they're external, they're not going to get the Torah. Torah, you need to have an internal connection. That's the shadow over here. Megala soy, there's the same issue. You can't keep things in your stomach. You have to take it out. So that means you're an external person, you're not internal. Then you have a problem. So the Mishnah. Brings a raya. In other words, judgment is being discussed. Comes the lawyer and says, whoa, I have a raya. I have AD, I have indication, I have a camera, I have things to show. He can come and say something. Says, bring all your rayos in the next 30 days. Within 30 days, he can come and contradict it. After 30 days, he can't. So what do you want? You gave him a 30-day, but he found it after 40 days. What do you think? So you can't bring it to base? It's a good riot. Here's a little different. Here he told him, bring Adim. So I don't have any Adim. Bring your rayos I don't have. So he said he doesn't have, so he does have. If you rayo what's Adim, I raise ain't no clue. I have nothing. He didn't know. He thought he had no Adim, and he found that there is Adim. You really realize right away, and we'll see right away when we get to the Gemara, there's a difference between the first case and the second. In the first case, we talk about somebody who is, they told him, you have 30 days to bring it. Let me try. It took him a little longer. In the second case, he said, I don't have. He says, he sees about to be Mischayev. Dayonim were dealing. Dayonim say, Mister, you are. He said, well, suddenly, Rabbi said, I have 80. Shmerel, Beryl, please come over. Suddenly brings a raya. The whole discussion, he didn't bring anything. Everybody agrees nothing. Why? Shmek wrong. Now you remember you have something? When it's about to be Mechayev? Says the Gemara, the what? That if he said you have 30 days and he brought up the 30 days, you still have to accept it. That you can't bring right after 30 days. You say halachas like this, of course, not like this. So maybe not. We say you can bring it after 30 days. But with the Evid, that he if they told him you have only 30 days and they won't accept it, well, it'll be okay. It's more no. Kamash Rolan, that you're gonna, if Rabbanan did not want to accept his Eidus, they have to do the din again. Says the Gemara, Omar Loyove Eidim, Omar Shivali. Now the second case. So bring Eidim, he said I don't have. Bring Raya, I don't have. And then suddenly he does have. In this case, Allah is like a Chov. Allah is not Shim Gamliel in this case. So of course, like Shim Gamliel. Now it says Rashi, you cannot say, don't say that don't say that if Shim Gamliel would have say the same thing. And even with the evidence works. So I'll tell you why. Because Shimon Gamliel is a Yachid. Of course, by Yachid, you don't go after the Yachid, you go to the Rab. So here I know that obviously even with the evidence you have to listen to Chacham. This is the only case in Shas that we don't pass him like Shimon Gamliel. Every place Shimon Gamliel says Halacha. Halacha Gemoisoy, you always go like Shimon Gamliel. Chutz have three cases. Orev, Sidon, Viraya Achred. Orev is, if you remember, we started recently in the Basra. Orev that comes after Chidush Taris. Sidon and Seres Gittin, we have a case of Sidon. And then you have Viraya Achred. What's Viraya Achred? No, us, our case. Sidon is a case in Gittin. Maisi but Sidon, that I forgot the exact story. Now, Raya Achroino is, what is Raya Achroino? Raya Achroino is, you have in our Mishnah, two cases, they brings a Raya. Case number one, they brings a Raya, we pass on Shemgamliel. Case number two, they brings a Raya. First day case is the 30-day case. Second case, he said, I don't have, you don't pass Shemgamliel. And it's called a Raya Achroino. The Raya, the second case of Raya. So he would to say that only in Raya Achroino, but not in the rest of the cases. Who's this child? They brought him to judgment for Rav Nachman. He said, "You have Eidim." I don't know. Isaac Raya. Chayv Rav Nachman. Rav said, "You chayv." Have a kabochi laws. So he started crying. So some people heard him. We know. We have Eidus. I'm not going to be off the Rabbanu. Here, Rabbanu will agree that he could bring the Eidim. Why? Child, in the case of the father, you're talking about what the father did. So the father, a regular guy says, I have no rayo, you say, I have no rayo, you have no rayo. But here, he's talking about his father. He doesn't know exactly what happened with his father. There was a star coming out from a woman. She says, I have the star. The star in my hand, but Royce, I want to tell you something. This star was paid off. I'm not going to trust in her. I'm not going to come on. Why are you trusting her? Maybe because we learned, it's a sugya that we learned. Can you transfer in William Bobasu? Can you transfer a star to Mesira? If I give you a star, do you already own the star, or you need to do a kinyan? So if you say that whoever owns the star, this star is hers. She tells you it's Parua, you believe her because it's hers. So maybe that's what you hold. So he has a yod, she can burn it. She has it in her hand, she can burn it. He could die with even I'm not. Nachman did not trust her. If she wants to, when Dav base Kalte, she could have burned it. We already saw it in her hands. She could have burned it before she brought the base, but now she can't burn it anymore. So don't tell me that you're going to trust her. But you want to come and say that she could have burned it before when we don't. Right now, we already saw it in her hands, and maybe she didn't know she couldn't burn it. Says the way by Isi Rav Nachman. See, but she has of 18 is kind of so guys, what Rav Nachman said? Nachman said that in this case, according to the second year, so Nachman said that if a woman says that this star that I have is Perua, you don't trust her. According to the second year, says the way Isi Rav Nachman. See, but she has of 18. What is it? See, but Rashi learned that Sifon is a shaver. It's a shaver, a receipt. It says the 18 is kind of so bring 18 that say they actually paid it off. In all of 18, there's no 18. There's the shalish, and there's a third party holding on to it. So he's within after Chidushtar is kosher. Alma shalish me'im, when you see the one holding on to the stars, them on Tiyuta not with the Yufto. So you have a Tiyufto them not. Right? Meaning, he holds that you see that whoever's holding on to the stars, them, you said the woman's not there. So maybe Rayo B'Soiser Hachi Stotem Ta'Noiso says he always brings a Rayo and he can bring against the Beis until he has nothing else to say. He'll say, please come and testify for me. What do you mean? Said until he has nothing to say, meaning he said I don't have any more. That's like a button. The one to say I don't have any more, it's done. Meaning he could still call somebody. They could still call somebody after it's all done. Maybe it's all Shem Gamliel. So what does it mean that he doesn't have what to say? So he says these days he should come. And in other words, until then he's them. We don't pass no Shimon in this case. These are one of three cases. We don't pass like it. So how do you put this place together? Because of Shmuel Yudom, maybe Rav Soiser. He brings a raya until he doesn't have anything to say. You tell him, and they told him, bring anything, because I don't have anything else. Bring a raya and everything else. Once he said that, it's over. That's a good one. Shmuel says he can still change his mind. If Adim came from overseas, or she didn't know about it, or the father is holding on to a drawer full of stars that he didn't know about. So in other words, if the circumstance says he didn't know, he found out new information. So then you have to go and you have to retry. There's two ways. Someone's going to tell somebody else, let's go. I want to go to base day. Says, okay, so let's go to base day. I want to travel to Mokum Avad, which is the place where you have the main base din, which is far away, right? Where you have a lot to be chachamim. And what's the reason? Rashi says, because this person is a very tough person, he wanted to be embarrassed to be chachamim. You can force him to go to the place where many chachamim are there. So according to that, someone owes $100. He says, I don't owe you. Okay, let's go to Beis Din. Okay, I want to go to Beis Din over there. How much cost to get there? I think it costs $100. So I'll pay $100 to get my $100. Hey, look, if you want to do that, be here. You can't do that. You want to do that? I do a din over here in this city. Even now, Safro, Steinschitz, Atzu Bedin, two people are fighting. One says, let's go to the main place, the central place. You're doing the din in this city. If you do have to have a question, they need to ask the hierarchy. So then you send a question over there. He says, I want you to please explain your din. Give me the psak din. What's the reason? You do write it. Why? Because then he can come and bring riots. He can bring it to other bases and show them. In order for the Yavama does go out to the Yom. Even from Tveria to Tzibori, even though there's much more people in Tveria. You can tell I want to go to Tveria. Of kind of micro, we know from the pasuk that the Yavama needs to go to where the Yavam is, because it says his Beis calls her. You do force him to go to Beis Avad, to the central place. You say you do in the city. How do you make it the car? Leave in the mouth. If the loive tells the mouth, I don't want to pay you, let's go to Mokum Avad, say you don't have to spend money to go somewhere else. The malva could force the borrower to go because the borrower is going to be a slave. Now, interesting lotion over here. Send Maruk. They sent from Eretz Yisrael to Marukvo, who's sitting above him. Like the Zivle Kebar Basya, the one who has a beautiful face, shining face like Moshe Rabbeinu, is called Bar Basya. He speaks Basya because he was raised by Basya Basbar. So he has a beautiful face like Bar Basya. Now, why is it called a beautiful face? Rashi says Marukvo had a big nisayon. There was a woman who was Eishish, and he really wanted her. And he wanted her so much, he got sick from it. Then one day she came to, she had a loan and she couldn't pay. So she said, I'll be with you. And he overcame his Yetzer Hara. He said, no, let her go. So for that, his face was shining. So he had a shining face. So Shalom said, Allah, Ukvan Abavli Kibal Kadmon. Ukvan came, this person named Ukvan Abavli, and he complained to us. Yirmiyah, my brother, was Mavis there. What's Mavis there? Rashi brings two explanations. Either he's misaris me, and he literally made him, he hurt him, damaged him, or he means he did something not right with money issues. Right? In other words, tell him what to do and send him to Tveria to us. You speak to him. You the base. He see you with your Epanim with Tveria. Then he says, come see us in Tveria. Alma Shadruach, that means send him to here. So what are they telling you? Some more brings two explanations. Explanation number one, Acham relay, they ninu atun, you judge. Titzai, if you listen, is great. If you lawyer see over here, but I'm not sending us a So they tell Mokla, you try to do it there. If not, send there to Eretz Yisrael. If dini krosos, you can't do in Bavel. Knas, and he fights. Or a Bavel loy dayin dini krosos. Why do they tell him you do something? He can't do it anyway. Just to give him some covenant. So he said, do it. He can't do it. Then say it to us, because we're the only ones who could. Very good. With this, we conclude the third paragraph of Sanhedrin. We will continue from here. Shabbos morning, 8 a.m. sharp. A good Shabbos.